Today we'll start the next topic in the object-oriented programming language. So that is called inheritance. And about the inheritance, already we have discussed in the first class. Briefly, we have discussed. Inheritance means something inherited from already existing class. Okay, means already there is one class which is already defined, and we will regenerate one and a new class which will inherit from existing class. So, like for example, in our social life, inherit. Suppose we are inherit from our parents. Okay, some like eyes, nose, something, some properties are equal matching with our parents. Some qualities are matching with our parents. So that is called inheritance quality of a human being. Or suppose we can and every suppose one object will be inherent from another object or like that. Okay. Now just see here. Inheritance is in our object-oriented method allows the allows a software developer to derive a new class from existing one. Okay, to derive a new class from existing one. So the existing class is called parent class, or you can say the super class, and the derived class is called child class or subclass. Okay, so in see the diagram here. In this diagram, this here this book is your this is your book is your parent class, or you can say super class, and this dictionary, novel, these are the child class of book class. Okay, and similarly mystery, historical, these are the child class of novel class. So here book is parent of dictionary and novel, mystery and so novel is the parent of mystery and historical. So this is one type of inheritance mechanism. Okay. So here there are means the inheritance creates an EJ relationship. EJ relationship. The subclass is a more specific version of original. The subclass is a more specific version of original. So remember, has a is aggregation. Okay, here has a is aggregation. Means dictionary is aggregated from book, and book is a relationship with the dictionary. Okay, like this. So this is called inheritance. So the child class inherits the methods of data defined in the parent class. The child class here, whatever data members and methods defined inside the book class will be again can be used by the dictionary class or novel class. Okay, means all the properties and methods of parent class is used by your child class. Okay, and some more methods and data members can be created inside the child class. So the child class inherits the methods and data defined in the for the parent class. And to tailor a derived class, the programmer can add new variable or methods. That means inside the derived class, we can also add some more members Like suppose we are the children of our parents. So something we are inheriting, something we are redefining. So that is called the newly added members. So that can be modified the inherited one. Okay, we'll see. Software reuse is at the heart of the inheritance. So why we will read this concept? Because of reusability. As we have discussed, reusability means something already defined and we will reuse it instead of redefining it. That is called reusability. So software reuse is the heart of the inheritance. So by using existing software components to create a new one, we capitalize on all efforts that went into the design, implementation and testing of the existing software. Means suppose a software is already designed, from that software if we can use something is called reuse. So that is reusability. So here we will see one the UML diagram. What do you mean by UML? Unified Model Language. Okay, so we will see how we will create a relationship between parent and child in inheritance using UML diagram. So see here, this is one UML diagram of vehicle and car. Here vehicle is parent, car is child. Here book is parent, dictionary is child. That means dictionary is inherited from book. Okay, the properties of book. Dictionary is also a book. Okay, like car is also a vehicle. Okay, whatever methods, properties are defined inside the book, that is again inherited by dictionary. And dictionary having some additional features, additional attributes and methods. Like here, car having some additional methods and attributes. Okay, so these are the two UML diagram for example in the inheritance. So inheritance should create an easy relationship, meaning the child is a more specific version of parent. Okay, the child is a more specific version of parent, means something additional thing is defined here. Then the how we will write in the program in Java. Okay, how we will define the derived class. Okay, the class we know how to define a class. Now we will see how to define a derived class. Okay, so there is a keyword required extends, extends. Just you can note down extends is the keyword reserved word which is required to define the derived class. So see the syntax here. Syntax, the class, then superclass name, then as it is you know how to define a class. So this is your base class or superclass. Then second one is your derived class or child class or subclass. So the syntax is class, subclass name, extends, superclass name from which it is extending. Then within Colibras, body of the subclass. So this is the syntax. You can note down this thing. The syntax of how to define the derived class. So syntax is class, subclass name, extends, the base class name or superclass name, within Colibras, body of the subclass. Okay, so this is your syntax of deriving subclass. The keyword extends used to define the derived class. So extends keyword here class, class name, extends the parent class name. Then within the Colibras, body is there. Okay. Now let us go to a directly to a program in our Java environment. Just see here, don't write this program, just see here the program. Here, these two things already you know how to, why we write it, why we are writing this. Next, there is a class, calculation. Class name is calculation. Then Colibra start, int z is there. This is your um, um, the, this variable is not private. Remember, this variable is not declared private. We can declare it private as per our requirement. Now here it is not declared private, so automatically it is treated as a default access specifier, which we have discussed yesterday in the last class. The default access specifier is default. Okay. Now here there is a method defined, public method defined addition x y, and x y parameters are received by addition function, and that x and y added and stored in z and printing the value of z. That is the class defined, that is class name is calculation. Okay. Another class, another method is defined subtraction. In subtraction again xy is receiving, y is subtracting from x and assigned to z and printing the value of z. So this is your basically a class. Already you know the definition of a simple class. Now second one is we are defining here a derived class. So here the derived class name class my calculation. The derived class name is my calculation. Then extends. This is the word which required to write the inheritance, means inheriting one class from another, and here base class name. And all of you remember here again class keyword is not required. Okay, class keyword, if you write class keyword then it is wrong. Okay, here only the class name you will write. Automatically your compiler, whatever you have written, that will be treated as a class name which must be defined before defining the this class. Okay, so extends is the keyword which is written to extend a base class to a new class. Okay, now here inside this class again multiplication from method is defined, where xy is receiving and xy multiplying and assigned to z and printing the value of z. So these are the only, this is the function which is defined inside the my calculation. Okay, now as per the inheritance concept, all the members means this is one member, this is another member, this is another member. All these members are inherited by the derived class my calculation. Okay, as well as a new member is defined here, multiplication. Okay, that means here for my calculation, z is a member, addition is a member, subtraction is a member, multiplication is a member. Okay, so now just come to our another class which I have declared, test inheritance 1 program. My program name is test inheritance 1. So here inside this, here inside the main function, I have taken two variables, int a equal to 20, b equal to 10. A equal to 20, b equal to 10. Now my calculation is the class name of this derived class. My calculation is the class name of derived class. Then the object I am creating, demo. The demo is the object of my calculation, reference of my calculation, equal to new my calculation. So now that means here in this at this point the object name is demo, reference name is demo. Through demo I can call, see here, demo dot addition ab, because addition also member of the derived class demo, derived class, that is my calculation. Now demo dot subtraction ab, demo dot multiplication. So through the derived class object, I have called the base class methods as well as derived class methods. Because of these base class methods are public, so directly I can calculate, I can access through the derived class dot operator. Okay. let us continue. Uh, let us compile this program, test inheritance 1 with Java. Test inheritance 1 dot Java. Okay, Java test inheritance 1 dot class. Okay, the sum of given number 30, the difference between given number 10. So here addition function called, here subtraction function method called, here multiplication method called. All the methods are called through the programs. Okay, so this is one example of your uh, inheritance. We will see another example in the slide. Here you just go through the slide screen. There is a class book class is there, and in the book class there is a protected member. We will discuss this protected concept again later. Just for now, you just see here pages. In pages is the member data member 1500 1500 is initialized here, and here there is a method that which returns a string. Okay, message system out println. The message is printing here. Number of pages is 1500. Now here dictionary, another class which is derived from book class. Dictionary is derived from book class. Syntax is public class dictionary extends book. So here book class is the base class, and this dictionary class is the derived class, and inside the dictionary class another private data member is defined, definitions equal to 52500. So this is your value in slice, and again inside the dictionary class there is another method def message, define message. Okay, define message function is defined, and inside this number of definition definition variable is here, it is printed, and definition for pages is definition oblique pages. Now here pages is the real member of the book class. See here pages is not the its own member, it is the base class member, book class member, that directly you can access. Okay, because of this protected you can access. Okay, so now in the main function, if you define this dictionary Webster. Webster is the object or reference of dictionary class, new dictionary. So object is created of dictionary class, means derived class. Now Webster dot message. So message function is called. So here it will print number of pages 1500. So Webster dot message. Then here this will call this one where number of definitions is again it prints 52500. Definition per page is again 52500 divided by 1500. Whatever result it will print. Okay, so this is the output of the program. Okay. So next is we will before going to the next um, next points are about the inheritance. We will see some one small example in inheritance. A small example in inheritance, so that you can easily understand again. Just directly I am writing, so I don't want to. Okay, here I have defined one class, that is base, under which there is a data member X, and this is your constructor without any parameter, where X is initialized to 10. Base, parameterless constructor. Then another method, print. So it is print function is there, print method where X value is printing. The class base is over. Now I write another class derived. Just I am giving a name. Don't. So these are not reserved words. So here, two separate classes. One class I have defined here, class base, and this is the thing. In another class I have defined class derived, and these are the things. Now I will. I have here. I have not created any relationship between base and derived. Now I will create the relationship between base and derived. Here, what I will write: extends, then base. Okay, so if you write this one, now all the members of base class will be again member of derived class. Okay, now let us see the things. Nothing I have used inside this derived class, only it is extended. Okay, so let us see now. Here I will create another class. Class, the program name is test inheritance 3. Okay, so here in the class test inheritance 3, and I am writing main function. Inside the main function, I will create the object of derived class. So the derived name suppose D1. Okay, derived D1. Now D1 dot if I call okay, derived D1. Now here I will write D1 equal to new derived parenthesis. So here, without constructor, without something it is written, that constructor will be called. Okay. Now d1 dot print we will call, then d1 dot display. Print method is defined in the base class, and display method is defined in the derived class. Okay, so these two are I am calling through the derived class object, that is d1. So now here you will see so this is the end of the test inheritance program. Okay, we'll see what will be the output in this program. All of you just see here, I have called print function and display function. So in print function, what should it print, and display function, what it should print. And here, and remember here, the constructor will be called. So which constructor will be called, which constructor will not be called, we will see. Now here in the derived class constructor, y value is 20. In the base class constructor, x value is 10. Now when we create the object of derived class, whether this base class constructor is called or not, okay, we will see. If it will not call, then x is 0. If it will call, x will be 10. So here print function, print x value is x equal to 10 or x equal to 0. And in the display function, y equal to 20, it will print. Whether it will 10, 20 or 0, 20, what will be the output? Just you think, and to whom I will ask, he or she will give the answer. Okay. Now let me compile the program first. So what will be the output? Who can say what will be the output? Now we have already compiled. Now we will execute. Okay. So answer is 10 and 20. Both the constructor, that means parent constructor as well as child constructor, automatically called. Okay. Whenever, so here we have seen when we are executing, creating the object of derived class, the derived class constructor called, before calling derived class constructor, automatically it is called the base class constructor also. Because of it is called base class constructor, x value is initialized to 10, and because of derived class constructor, y value is assigned to 20. Now print function is printing 10, and the display function is printing 20. Okay, so the answer is 10, 20. So in the details, so some inheritance details. An inheritance of a child class does not rely on instance of parent class. That means if you have created any object of any instance of parent class, there is no relationship between the child class object and derived class, parent class object. That means suppose inside our program, if we create object of base class, then derived class D1 and base class suppose D1, there is no relationship. Okay, there is no relationship between the objects, that is instance. Okay, only here classes are related, and parent class can be used by derived class. If you use the derived class object, then it will use the base class as well as derived class. If you call the base class object, then only base class things will be referred. Okay, inheritance is one-way street. That is, the book class cannot use variables or methods declared explicitly in the dictionary class. That means the parent class cannot use the variable of derived class. Okay, child class. So these are the 2 points you need to remember. So next class we will see the some more thing, that is protected modifier. and some other things we will discuss.